Welcome back to another episode of the Social Media Millionaire podcast. I have to say, this is probably not even one of the most highly requested podcast episode that, dare I say, we've ever had. So, this episode is going to be a bit of a Pinterest deep dive. We're going to get into what it is, how to use it, why to use it, how to get started, and then we're going to go through and answer our top most frequently asked questions that we get about Pinterest marketing. Now, before we dive into Pinterest, I just want to say that there are a lot of naysayers and hate comments and things that we get on social media about, anybody who posts anything about business gets these types of comments. But you can go ahead and check out the Business Insider article where they verified this income, specifically the sales that come from Pinterest. Obviously not the entirety of our business, but you can go ahead and check out that article. It is linked on our website, and of course you can just go to Google. So let's dive into Pinterest marketing. So you guys know that I've shared for ages now on my social media the benefits and the data around what we've been able to produce with Pinterest marketing specifically. And Pinterest has been such a huge pillar of our business from the very beginning. My very first growth spurt on Instagram came from Pinterest marketing. I initially grew my blog exclusively with Pinterest marketing, and some of our very first clients that are now doing 8-9 figures in revenue are still very heavily marketing on Pinterest and is where a lot of them got their start. Now, the reason that Pinterest is so different than the other platforms is because it's a visual search engine. So it's not a social media platform. Its intention is to give search results that best match the search query that was entered into the box. So if you think about the way that you use Pinterest, right? You're looking for something, you're shopping for something, you're looking to create a mood board for something. And so the people that are on Pinterest are already in a shopping mindset. So with that in mind, with that understanding, obviously, we are speaking to people that are already primed. They're already aware that they have a problem, right? So we're meeting them further along in that awareness journey than we typically are when we just pique somebody's interest on TikTok or Instagram through short form content. And so with Pinterest being a search engine, it gives us a really valuable tool to get in front of as many people as possible because we're not limited by the normal algorithmic constraints that come with the other platforms. This is going to be very evergreen content. It's going to continue to work and rank and create traffic for you for years to come. The pins that I posted years ago are still bringing clicks and traffic to those links that are connected to them. I have people message me every single day telling me that they found me on Pinterest. And I always ask, what pin did you see? And oftentimes it's pins that were posted a year ago, 2, 3, even years ago. And so Pinterest is not only the long game, but it is the best way to scale sustainably. Do I expect for you to see overnight sales from Pinterest? No, that's usually not the norm for people. Now, people that are really great with sales psychology, that really catch on fast to creating very enticing content, they blow up faster. But it's something that will give you sustainability and a lot of visibility for years to come. The thing that most people struggle with is visibility. It's a lot more difficult to get a high volume of content in front of a lot of people using something like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, whereas Pinterest is engineered specifically for visibility. That's really its only purpose, is visibility and search. So that is why we love it. So the way that we use it is we do a couple different things. So Pinterest is the vehicle that allows us to bring traffic to whatever it is that we are wanting to get eyeballs on. So that could be our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, podcast. This could also be landing pages or sales pages on our website. This could be specific blog posts or podcast episodes. This could be different lead magnets and freebies to bolster our email marketing. So there's a lot of different ways that we've used this, and really anything that has a URL that you can link to, you can leverage Pinterest for getting traffic. So that's how we use it. We use it for visibility. We use it to bring people, as many people as possible, to all the different assets that we have, be it different social platforms, offers, or email marketing lead magnets. So when it comes to, getting started and why you should use it, my thing is that Pinterest is going to be so much better for your business and so much healthier for your business than running ads. If you are able to reach even 100,000 people a month on Pinterest, do you know how much you would have to pay on a platform like Facebook or Instagram to reach that amount of people in ads? But you're able to reach those people organically with very minimal effort, okay? So Pinterest is huge for visibility. It's huge for brand awareness, getting your name out there, getting seen by as many people as possible, growing your Instagram, growing your other platforms, getting traffic to those things that are sometimes harder to drive traffic to, like a podcast, right? So that is why we love it and why I think you should be on it. Now, when it comes to getting started, a few basics that you need to understand. Number one is the fact that it is a search-driven platform. So the strategy that we take is we're reposting a lot of content onto different boards. People say, well, I don't want to be redundant. Well, people aren't going through and looking at all of your boards. They're seeing that one piece of content that populated in the search, and then they click through that pin because it takes them somewhere that gives them something that they want. Right? So the user behavior and the intentionality of Pinterest is very different. Whereas if somebody finds your Instagram, for example, they're going to scroll through a lot of your content. They're going to watch your story. They're going to go through your highlights. They're probably going to peruse the majority of your page. Whereas with Pinterest, that is not the case. It's simply an attraction point to bring them through to someplace else. We don't really care if they go to our profile on Pinterest. We don't really care if they click around on our profile on Pinterest. We'd rather them come to our Instagram and then click around. So it's just the vehicle to get people where you want them to go. So with that in mind, the way that you optimize Pinterest is by doing keyword research. And essentially all this is you are figuring out what your ideal audience is typing into the search bar. What questions are they asking? What are they searching for? What problems do they have that they're trying to solve? And then you use those keywords to optimize the posts that you make. You put those words that people are using to search onto the posts that you're posting. That's it. That's what it is. So with that, it's important for you to have a business account. You have to have a business account. When I get questions, I don't see that. I don't have that button. You probably don't have a business account, okay? Let me say that again. You have to have a business account. That's what's going to allow you to optimize, see analytics, do all the things that you need to do. It's not a debate. It's not like Instagram or TikTok where it's like, oh, do I want a creator or a business account? It doesn't matter. You want a business account, set up a business account on Pinterest. Great. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Now, let's go through the most frequently asked questions that we get when it comes to Pinterest, okay? I'm not going to go into a how-to tutorial because we have that for free inside of the Millionaire Archives, which is our free membership. So if you want a deeper how-to of how to complete these steps, we have that in there. And in the coming weeks, we are potentially going to be coming out with our first self-paced program that will actually walk you through our Pinterest process as well. Now, number one, what is the difference between boards and pins? So boards are like a folder and a pin is like a single document. Okay, so a pin is the actual post that people are going to see. The boards are what you are saving those posts to. So again, folder, document. It's just like that. So your boards are going to hold different combinations of keywords And essentially you're wanting to optimize both your boards and your posts so that you have the widest range of keyword combinations that you can potentially rank for. That's all. Number 2, how many boards should I have? We recommend creating 3 to 5 boards in the beginning of setting up your Pinterest account for every single category of content that you're going to post. So if you're going to post about sales psychology and Pinterest marketing and TikTok and Instagram and email marketing, then that's 5 categories. We would have 3 to 5 for each of those. So we'd potentially have anywhere from 15 to 30 boards, okay? That's just to start out. As you continue to grow and optimize your account and see what works and what doesn't, you can double down on the keywords that are really effective and you can create new boards and optimize there. Now, question number 3 is are idea pins / video pins still a thing? Idea pins are not being posted the same way as they were before, but you can still post video pins. And we do that primarily with our TikTok videos. We'll download those without the watermark and then repurpose those and schedule those to go out. So still very much a good thing to repurpose your TikToks, repurpose your short form content over onto Pinterest. Number 4, if I were to start on Pinterest but don't have a lot of time, what should I prioritize doing? So really, it's not going to take you that much time. It's just the setup that's going to be more of the heavy lifting. Once you have it set up, it's going to be a lot more of an autopilot process. So the first thing that you have to do, obviously, is keyword research. Nothing matters if you don't do that. Nothing is going to be effective. Nothing is going to work if you don't do keyword research. So that's number 1. Number 2 is take the time to optimize your account well, so that you produce the best results for the amount of time that you put in. And then number 3 is going to be setting up a scheduler. We've used Tailwind for years. Tailwind is an official partner with Pinterest. So the people that like to lie and say that it will hurt your reach or your visibility is just simply not true. They've invested millions of dollars into these partnerships with Pinterest. Both Pinterest and Tailwind have invested millions of dollars into these partnerships. So the people saying that it hurts your reach it's simply not true. Number 5, what type of businesses should be utilizing Pinterest? Now, it's very obvious for product-based businesses to be on Pinterest, but part of the reason that I've been so outspoken about it is because it's actually really great for service providers and service-based businesses. So if you are somebody who is a social media manager, a web designer, you're a virtual assistant, you are a health or fitness coach, anybody that teaches anything, any type of coach, consultant, mentor, and any type of service provider, we've had everyone from lawyers to web designers be very successful with Pinterest. So the other thing to keep in mind is, what if my ideal audience isn't on Pinterest? Your ideal audience is on Google, and Pinterest is going to help you rank on Google. So I think it's a benefit for anybody to be on in any industry. And if you're finding that there are, searches for the keywords that you would want to target, but not necessarily a lot of content, that means that there's a lot of blank space in your industry that you can fill that can really give you a competitive advantage against other people in your industry that maybe aren't marketing on the platform. Number 6, how quickly will I see results? So most of our clients, they get anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 monthly views within their first month of following our strategy. Typically, we can get you to 100,000 views per month very, very easily. And then beyond that is kind of up to you to optimize and really look at your data and see what's working and what's not. You can, with very minimal effort, get to 100,000 views a month. So that's what we target with our clients. But like I said, going beyond that is a lot of repurposing what you've seen worked well, looking at your metrics, and just doubling down on the things that are working and performing for you. What analytics should I be tracking? So, of course, impressions and reach and visibility is great because that is one of the key reasons that you are going to be on Pinterest is to get a lot more views and visibility and just traffic on your content and on what you're posting and putting out there into the world. The other metric that you do want to pay attention to is click-throughs, because if people aren't clicking through, then they're not going to these links. And so your entire purpose of using Pinterest to bring traffic, using it as a vehicle to bring people to your other platforms, is not working, right? So we want to make sure that you have a high click-through rate, that you're seeing consistent clicks, and that you're seeing it growing. And if you're not, then that means that you have a copywriting issue on your pin. It's not enticing people to click through. You're not giving them enough of a reason to want to go through. But that gets a little bit deeper into the inner workings of sales psychology and why people buy and why people are activated, which we do in another program. Number 8, how do I create pins that people want to click on? So again, this goes back to that sales psychology. Number 1, first and foremost, if you're using text or fonts that's really hard for people to read, that automatically, it seems really common sense, and I really feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but if it's really hard for people that are skimming through and scrolling through Pinterest to even read what's on your pin, you're probably going to be driving down your click-through rate. If you are putting too much text on your pins so that people have to, again, if they can't scan and get a good idea of what they're going to get very quickly, you're probably going to have a pretty low click-through rate. If you don't have a good call to action beyond click here, okay, buy now, that's not what we're looking for. Get the scripts, or grab the free guide, or download it here, right? Those types of call to actions where it is calling them to action rather than, hey, buy something from me. Hey, click on this, right? We actually want them to do something. We want them to know that they're going to get something as of value after they click through. So we want to focus on that as well. How can I drive traffic to my business and products with Pinterest? So this is where we come back to where we were talking about every single pin that you're going to post is going to have a link attached to it. So when people click on your post, they're able to click through to that link, which is going to bring traffic to your products, services, or your social media. And number 10, what are some time-saving tips when it comes to Pinterest? So a couple things that I recommend. Number 1, it's great if you use our templates that we have. These are going to be included in the Pinterest program. And those essentially will allow you to manage and catalog your keywords that you're and your combinations that you're creating, your board descriptions, your board titles, all of that. And then just having that cataloged where you can kind of copy paste. We also have engineered where we've done some training of some different language models. And so we're able to train language models on your writing style, and with the keywords that you have organically found, you can use AI to pump out a ton of different descriptions, but you do have to kind of follow the language model that we've set up. If you just ask it to write you a description, it's going to be terrible and you're not going to get results. So it does have to be trained, it has to be learned, but once you do that and can do it correctly, then of course you don't really have to write descriptions anymore. And then the third thing, of course, is using a scheduler like Tailwind, where you're able to batch upload your content, repurpose all of your content that you've already created on the other platforms, and then schedule out using those descriptions and keywords that you found and created. So, do you recommend starting your content on Instagram and TikTok, or start on Pinterest? So, this is something that I would do kind of simultaneously, but you're probably going to focus your attention on TikTok and Instagram first. The reason for that is because if we're going to use Pinterest to bring traffic to those other platforms, you need to have a good amount of content that's going to make it worth their while to go to those other platforms and stay there is key. So I would recommend getting your Instagram, getting your TikTok set up, begin posting, and then you can optimize your Pinterest later. The other thing is that once you're posting, if you're repurposing that short form content that you're creating for the other platforms over to Pinterest, if it's not very good content, it's really not something we want to repurpose. So you want to dial in the creation that you're doing on the other platforms and then move it over to Pinterest. Okay. Would you start content on Pinterest the same way any other social media platforms? So yes and no, because there's going to be a lot more preliminary research that's going to go into Pinterest that you are not going to have with the other platforms. So the keyword research is going to take a lot longer. You're going to optimize in a different way because you're optimizing for search, not necessarily personal branding. And then you're going to be repurposing a lot of content. So it's going to be a lot more kind of technical and logistical setup than the other platforms typically are. So hopefully this gives you a bit of context into Pinterest, what it is, how you should use it, why you should use it. Like I said, if you're interested in that Pinterest program that we are launching, that information will be available on my Instagram at kenda.laney. And of course, my DMs are always open if you have any questions and want to chat through anything. I love talking about this. You know that you'll probably get a voice note or a 12 back from me if you DM me. So I love chatting with you guys there. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like the podcast, be sure to subscribe, leave a review. It really helps us get seen in the algorithm. We enjoy that. Preferably a positive review. That would be great. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.